Hello, you probably see or maybe saw AMD RDNA 4 problems with the Unreal Engine with ray tracing freezes. This is actually freezes on NVIDIA branch of the Unreal Engine. You can see how it was looking. I expected that actually myself in this game. This is Hellblade 1. Actually, it wasn't happening on low ray tracing settings, but on high. But that doesn't matter. The freezes were actually around 5 seconds lasting. Oh, something like that. And just to clear up some things, because I hear people are still got that freezes, I'm using this driver 25.8.1 and we are launching the Hellblade. The only modification I did to this game is removing the intro. And my GPU is actually 9070 XT Radeon. So I'm gonna show the settings. As you can see, ray tracing is set to high. And voila. I don't know if you will be able to hear me, so we're gonna make this like that. Previously, since I was spawning here, there was actually freeze, instant freeze. I totally suck at this game, fighting system, I don't like it. I can't move left, I have no idea why. Yeah, I am just smashing my mouse keys. Yeah. Oh, this is someone I haven't seen. That's not a problem. Previously, whenever they have spawned, there was a freeze. I hate these guys, I hate to fight them, and I don't like the fighting system in this game, especially locking on the specific guys. But you can see there is no... I think I'm gonna die. I can't just move around them. But as you can see, there is no freeze actually. Maybe we can load some different area. I don't remember which was what. I stopped playing this game actually a long time ago. So yeah, this is actually the level we saw on the video previously. I don't know where I should go, maybe here. Oh, there are some stutters actually, that's not the complete freezes. I can't. Which was jumping? Jump. Oh, you can't jump in this game. That's something too hard for me. So we're gonna go back. Yeah, as you can see, there are those micro stutters where the new area is loading. There actually was also present without ray tracing. That's typical for Unreal Engine. So as you can see, everything runs normally for this engine. But we are gonna see one more game, because I don't have a list of all games that had problems with this. That's the Ghostwire Tokyo. Yeah, that's my only installed game via this launcher. And as I remember, I was testing it yesterday or 2 days ago. I was able to control my character because I just started the new game, and there was a lot, very long movies on the beginning. Graphics, and as you can see, only the motion blur, chromatic aberration and grain is disabled. This is something I don't really know. TSR, and yeah, there is ray tracing here, here and here.
Tym złomem? Chciałeś jechać do siostry?
Wybacz, ale nie mam ochoty na pogaduszki z kimś, kto próbował mnie opętać.
I'm not sure if that's the correct grain
A
on
czym
the
ty w
vehicles.
ogóle
Yeah,
jesteś?
that's the
Ty
grain
wiesz.
traps.
Potem
Okay,
ja.
I was seeing something
To miasto jest w kiepskim stanie.
not
Nie sądziłem, że
correct,
będzie aż tak źle.
but I see that's the normal design of this level.
Czy to naprawdę Shibuya?
I don't like the fluidity of this game. This is really laggy controls. I'm not sure why. There is very noticeable lag on the controls, while we still have 60 FPS. That's really interesting actually. And it looks like my Adrenaline software have restarted itself. I wonder if it's still recording.
Tutaj.
Dobrze. Wygląda na to, że możesz pochłaniać ich energię.
But as you can see, there is no freezes or anything like 5-second stops of the game like it was before, so I think it was fixed. We're gonna see once more. Maybe that's the settings people have been using. So we are recording still. Okay. I have no idea why this is happening. I have reported this already. that the adrenalines just close during the game or when you exit the game. I will just check one thing. Yeah, there is no crash, as you can see. Secure boot error, that's the Windows thing. But the adrenaline software haven't crashed. They are just closing and reopen. Not sure why. But let me show you settings for the games, maybe global, because there is nothing special I use for Hellblade or for Ghostwire Tokyo. These are my settings. So you can see I don't use anything special. This is the custom profile. Maybe when using something from this list, I don't know. I haven't tested yet any HyperRX or quality mode. In the performance, I even use undervolt settings, which are completely stable for my system. So I don't think the freezes in the game might be caused by undervolting or overclocking, but maybe actual settings or cache, the shader cache on the system, on the settings. Maybe the way how people actually update the settings, because I was told to, when updating the drivers, just to override the installation of the driver. So download the new version of drivers and just install them. This is not how I reinstall the drivers. I use AMD cleanup utility, download it along the drivers, launching the AMD cleanup utility. This is asking automatically to reboot the system into safe mode. You click yes. I am then standing and disconnecting the internet cable, because I don't want to disable Windows driver installation, automatic driver installation. It won't install any driver when you are offline. Then where the system reboot into safe mode, it will ask you to remove your GPU drivers, not the chipset drivers. This is really important. And you remove the GPU drivers, it will ask you to reboot into normal mode of the Windows. You still don't connect your internet cable. Then when the system boot up in the normal mode, you install the drivers. You reboot your system, and while it's rebooting, you can connect your Ethernet cable. And then when it gonna reboot again, you will see the message on the screen that Windows have detected hardware changes and need to restart. And that's the only issue I got, is afterwards it was not present on the RDNA 2. It is present on the RDNA 4. Is actually, I don't know if it's the driver issue or Microsoft issue. Whenever I update the drivers, I am completely logged out of every web page I was on the Edge browser. I don't use any other browser. I haven't tested it on any other browser, but on the Edge it logs me out of everything. So that's the only issue I got, except closing Adrenaline software itself. But as you can see, the freezes on the Unreal Engine was actually fixed. I had also the problem with the Cyberpunk, this game. I don't really like this game anymore, because whatever they implement from the AMD, you got guarantee it's not gonna work. As you can see in the top right corner, I don't know if that's pop-ups are visible on the video, on the recording, I got available FSR 4. But this is the CD Projekt Red game, so you don't have FSR 4 in the game. Actually, I did it. I don't know how I activated it, but when I first launched the game, I had it available in the driver. It was enabled in the driver, but was not visible on this list. I have not yet discovered what is triggering this, but you probably don't know that there is no FSR 3.1 in Cyberpunk. There is no upscaler part of the FSR 3.1. There is only frame generation from the FSR 3.1. This is how they did it. They had to really try hard to not implement the FSR 3.1. But that's the Nvidia sponsored game, so nothing really surprised me here. And we are still got the FSR 4 quality, and from what people are describing, I still got an Intel low latency. Nice, but we are gonna play now in the 70 FPS if I remember correctly. People got issues with the path tracing crashing, and after the 2.3 update it's also happening on Nvidia. Yeah, that's the game issue. To overpass this issue, you can try the Ultra Plus mod from the Nexus mods. It will also give you more options for path tracing, but I will see if it's gonna crash. I am sure it's gonna crash on the path tracing mode. But as you can see, FSR 4 works properly when you will finally enable it. So wait 1 minute, we're gonna get some more shiny car, because from what I heard and what I read, there is the issue with some pink accent on the reflections when path tracing is enabled. The lamine seems to shiny enough. I don't know why the reflections are still so noisy when you move the camera. But you know, this is CD Projekt Red game, so I don't judge, I just know. Turn the performance mode and path tracing mode, and the game runs. There is pink light in here, so that's maybe not the best place to test it. I have around 30-40 FPS. Actually we've got 60, but the lag... Maybe I am blind. Yes, we got the pink on the reflections. You can see on the rear bumper of the car and on the rims, in the wheels. There is some pink film. So this is really the issue on the vanilla implementation. But we're gonna see if it's gonna crash, actually. people was writing that the 3 minutes or 5 minutes was max. They was able to play on the path tracing. Jesus Christ, everything is pink over here. You know, the CD Projekt Red, AMD brand is red, so they made pink film on the reflections. Not red, but pink. Yeah, that's typical. I am really surprised they have implemented FSR 4 at all. They did it in the way they did, but they have implemented it. I have no idea why the frame time in the city is actually totally fucked up. There's very big problem for driving. As you can see, my hotspot didn't actually even reach 70 degrees Celsius. The GPU clock is actually low. Just a little bit too low, even for my undervolting. It was reaching easily 3000 MHz, but here it is not. Default boost clock of my GPU was 3200 or 3200 if you like megahertz. But we are playing without crash yet. Maybe that's the issue when you are in the city. By the way, I don't I can't quickly sum up what is the base resolution right now. But actually lower render resolution is not a problem where there is so big pop-up of everything right in front of you, and we are playing max settings. But hey, you got pod tracing. Maybe with some great reflections you will see something, some object in reflection before it's gonna appear in real. So we are in the city and not a crash. There was no crash. Everything is pinky here. I think image is also less sharp, but that may be caused by lower base resolution. But as a bonus in this video, because as you can see, I don't see a crash. Maybe that's your system. Maybe that's not the typical load on your GPU or your Jesus, or on the whole system you got. The Cyberpunk is not making the typical load on your components, and it's triggering the crash. Maybe the RAM is more used in this time. Maybe CPU, and you got unstable settings that you haven't know actually. Maybe that, because I don't see a crash. I was expecting it, because I saw crash sometimes before. But I wanted to show you one bonus thing for this potential game. For the path tracing, for the RDNA 4 especially, because I still think FSR 4 via OptiScaler is still a better option, at least for me. You don't have to wait for whitelisting of the AMD. So I will show you one more thing, bonus thing, because I can't actually understand why in 2025 people still rely on the Cyberpunk and its path tracing when judging the performance of some GPU. This is old game and also sponsored. This is most based game actually I have ever seen. This is sponsored by Nvidia, so there is no way it's gonna work properly, 100% properly on AMD without mods. And one mod you can try, Cyberpunk Ultra Plus, and we are gonna install it right now. This is so old mod, but you can also check. I am not logged in. Manual download, and this is updated in April. I don't think I need this, but we are gonna download it yet. Crazy. That was actually my email. So we download the seat, the Ultra Plus. The installation is so freaking simple. Even the monkey would do it. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee at the same time. So as you can see, you got only bin folders. So at first you install CET. Yeah. Here, Jesus, I don't like the Windows window management. So you don't overwrite anything, and here you will also not overwrite even anything, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So it's installed. That's it. And to use it, you have to use the hotkey was wait. I don't remember what was the hotkey, but classic ray tracing. You know what? I will test it live. It was insert home or page up, page down. Usually, oh yeah. But we don't need this thing. We're gonna set, I don't know, num minus. Yeah, num minus. And you got this freaking menu. And num minus also close it. So, we got path tracing enabled previously. And there is this freaking pinky pink. The performance also decreased, but why we want to use some settings. Click apply in the graphics menu. So you have to follow this every time you will change everything. And this is the Pinky Pink 25. But we are gonna start with the 60. This disable, right? Reconstruction. And voila! No Pinky Pink. Quality level, we're gonna choose the fast. Here we're gonna set fast. And look at our FPS right now. The frame time. Click apply in the graphics menu. Okay, I think we did. So right now we are playing path tracing with the 70 FPS. By the way, the 16 version is actually 1.6, and this is the first path tracing introduced in Cyberpunk, and it had its own denoiser, NRD. And as you can see, it looks way better. Personally, it runs much faster with those settings, and looks like and looks the same good as previously, don't you think? I will check the balance settings. And yeah, 10 FPS costs. Maybe a little bigger. But runs and looks way better than before. So we are gonna... I don't know why it keep asking to apply the settings. Aha, we got to load the game, so... okay. Load the game. Click apply. But we have already applied this. I think we can ignore this message. So maybe we are gonna test the later versions of the path tracing in this game. What do you think? 20. This is the currently we are using the path tracing from the Cyberpunk 1.63. Now from the Cyberpunk 2.0. So, how does it look? How does it work? We're gonna need to click apply, but I immediately feel the lag on the controls. And we need to also load the game. Yeah. Wait a minute. And we are, that was meant to be really short video, but as you can see we're playing the Cyberpunk for, I don't count how long. And no crash. It looks same good, but I don't think, I haven't changed actually the sharpness, but the game looks a little bit less sharp on this setting. But it still runs pretty good and looks nice, but I feel the lag on the controls. And then, as you can see, performance also decreased. So maybe next setting we can also check. We can also change those settings, but I have tested it before, and those settings actually doesn't actually change anything. And this is from the we are now see the path tracing from the Cyberpunk 2.10, and look what we got, pinky pink. So what do you think? We're gonna test this or just ignore this version and choose this? Next, V2. Fast. And yeah, we're gonna apply this and load the save game. We don't need to load the game. But you just saw there can be normal path tracing for the AMD cards. Oh, and we're gonna get a crash.
Yeah, boy.
So yeah, it completely blew the adrenaline settings. It completely forgot my settings. Yeah, so it crashed on some extreme path tracing settings. So we are gonna... There is no try icon for adrenaline software. That's great. And look at our FPS. So I think best way to use the path tracing on this NVIDIA demo is actually, when you got an AMD GPU, is actually Ultra Plus mode. And probably we're not gonna get any crash. And this is the preferred path tracing settings.
Szanowni Państwo, jestem Arif Iqbal, a oglądacie...
That works and looks great. You get the FSR 4. And you can play like this. So the question remains, wait, I had a feeling that was this. You know, I see the pink right now everywhere in every reflections. I'm looking for the pink color. So as you can see, the new drivers actually fixed a lot, but your drivers won't magically fix the broken game. You have to take that into account. As you can see, we can comfortably play the Cyberpunk on those drivers with the path tracing, even if it's not designed completely for AMD cards. We can play the Unreal Engine 4 with the ray tracing. So, is it really that bad? I don't know, but for me it's completely enough. I know they could introduce the introduction for the redstone, or I don't know, we were waiting month later. But really? Did we waited so long that 20.6.3 drivers was released on the end of June? Here they was released this day, and we got these drivers 6th or 5. I don't know, 3 days ago I think. So we were waiting just a little bit over a month, and people already got upset. So I won't change my mind. AMD cards are more prone to instability of your whole platform. Where something is crashing, it's not necessary that GPU crash. It will also crash when the crash of the system will occur, just the safety, just as some safety switch. But doesn't mean your GPU is completely unstable or drivers are completely broken. You know what people write. Everything is running good enough to be able to use. I just don't know why it's not visible in the tray. Oh, yeah, it's visible now. You have to also count one more thing. The system. The system you are using is also really fucking important. Because on Windows 11, I don't use Windows 11 for some reason. I had problems on not only on my personal system, but on the customer system, with the NVIDIA, with no dedicated graphics card, with just the Intel integrated APU and AMD APU, there was problem on problem, even without dedicated graphic card. So take into account that some issues might be also from the system and from the crash we had. When the AMD crashes drivers, you will see it over here in the event viewer. Also, Explorer Excel had crashed. You see, the Cyberpunk crashed, and it crashed even Explorer XE. This is how the Cyberpunk crashes looks like. But you know, that's the joke. It was the Explorer had crashed because the driver, actually. But whenever the AMD software crashed, you will see it in the event viewer. Here, not here. Here or here. There is always error. Ignore the secure boot error because this is the Windows. They know the issue is here. This is reporting error after error, but even Microsoft told us to ignore it. So we are ignoring it. And that's it. System also can cause different crashes. And best way for me personally, I think, right now, is to completely disable Windows Update, especially that Windows 10 support is ending soon, and I won't be surprised if Microsoft, for the end of the this not be end of the life for the system, but for the end of the support, will break the system intended, with the intention of breaking it. You know what I mean. To force the people to drop the Windows 10 and go to Windows 11. Intentionally, yeah, that's the word. And I think the disabling Windows Update right now isn't really a bad idea, because I see what updates they are really releasing for the Windows 11, and I won't be really surprised if they will release the same quality updates for the Windows 10. This is gonna be last 4, 3 or 2 or even 1, the last update that will completely break the system, and people will search for the fault in drivers, in games, in whatever you want, and it's gonna be the system. But it's gonna be something that will be hard to find. It's not gonna break anything instantly, it's gonna break with some time. You know, caching and all that stuff. So be aware that system can cause also crashes and instability of your system. Be sure always when something like crash will happen and you are sure this is not the system, which you can't be sure for 100%, to disable XMP or Expo. Just use the default settings from the BIOS without any OC. The Expo is also OC of your RAM. Without timing, there will be less performance, there will be more delays, bigger latency, but you will have 100% stable settings, and test then some game. If it's gonna crash also then it's the game or the system. It's not always the driver. Believe me. You can also test previous releases of the driver, but whenever you will update your driver, you can meet the instability of the system, because one driver was using GPU slightly less, the new driver will push the GPU harder, and GPU will also, when the load on the GPU will be bigger, it will also be bigger for your CPU and your RAM, and you can have instability of your RAM, and you will discover it just like that. So always test without OC. If it's gonna run stable, then enable your OC one settings by another, and you will find the instability of your system. That's the bonus tip on the end. So I ending this long ass video because it's longer than I expected, and we will see you in the next video.